Hello, it is December 10th, 2019. It is 8 o'clock. Welcome to the weather update. We're going to first look over the rainfall totals. And I'm just going to be looking over the rainfall totals for Long Island and the general Long Island area. I'm not going over Connecticut or New Jersey. So these are the latest amounts from the Weather Service. I'll put a link below to the amounts if you want to read every single one. Look, in Brooklyn, Kings County, the highest amount there was 1.62 inches. But, boy, we got soaked in Nassau County. Take a look at some of these numbers here. Great Neck, 2.45 inches. Woodbury, 2.18. North Merrick, 2.12. Albertson, 2.02. Massapequa Park, 1.92. Wantagh, 1.91. Levittown, 1.90. And Syosset, 1.69. There's a car place number. I'm not sure if there's a car place number or not. Yeah, here it is, 1.80. So close to almost 2 inches in many parts of Nassau County and over in some parts of the North Shore. In Central Park, 1.57 inches fell. And in Queens, 2.21 at Belrose. And Jackson Heights, 1.82. LaGuardia got 1.80. And at JFK, 1.71 inches of rain. Like I said, it was a soaker, and Suffolk County also got soaked. Stony Brook, 2.47. Dix Hills, 2.41 inches. South and Comac, 2.30. Lake Ronkonkoma, 2.29. Port Jefferson Station, 2.02. So a lot of plus 2 inch amounts. Islip Airport got 1.83. Might be a record for the day. Pretty sure it is. Farmingdale Airport got 1.82 inches of rain. Selden, 1.74. Bridgehampton, 1.73. You can look at over all the amounts here, but there's a lot of rain. A lot of areas got soaked. 1.5 inches of rain. So it was definitely a soaker last night on a lot of rain. And we got a little more rain today, believe it or not. So it's crazy. It really is. So let's take a look and see what the rainfall amounts were today, because we got more rain today. We had a couple of downpours in the early afternoon moving through. So let's take a look and see what the latest observations are right now across the area. It's waiting for that to come onto the screen. Come on. You know, it always... Alright, there we go. So 54 at Farmingdale. Winds have finally shifted to the north after a muggy, warm day. It hit 57 today at Farmingdale. And let's see, got not too much rain there at Farmingdale, but we had some, Nassau County, we had some heavier rain developed today that was over our area. Let's take a look at Islip. Islip 54, light rain, dew point 51. So you got these really muggy conditions across the area. Let's see what New Jersey hit as far as the high goes, because obviously it was probably warmer there. And we have an NA at Toms River, but it does say 61. It did hit 61 there, so we'll have to look at one of the other airports that's a little further to the west here. Hopefully it'll give us a... So McGuire Airport base 54, dew point 52, northwest wind 18, gusting to 28. So it looks like the front is passing through. They hit 59, but I'm pretty sure it was warmer than that in Toms River. I know it was warmer than that in Toms River. But the Ocean County, which is responsible for the Miller Airport, never seems to maintain their instruments there, and they're always going down. So Atlantic City also has the front through 54. Oh yeah, look at that! It got up to 66 at Atlantic City, so it's probably close to that in Toms River. 66 degrees, which is absolutely crazy for this time of the year. Absolutely nuts. Very warm, very unseasonably warm. Let's look at the climate. Well, I don't think Islip broke a record today, so I don't think any records were broken today. Let's see if there was. National Weather Service would mention it, so I don't think any temperature records were broken today. But it was quite warm. We did get close, but we didn't break them. So let's go to the one to ground. I will show you the radar in a minute. Right now, there's not too much going on, but I will show you the one to ground, showing you some of these temperatures again across the area. We can make this a little larger if we can. As you can see, we're still in the 50s. The cooler air is just trying to bleed in here. If we look at the dew points are starting to drop over Long Island, starting to drop to north and west, so they will start dropping. very soon after dealing with some really muggy conditions across the area. Let's take a look at some of the current weather stations and see what conditions were. Get a good idea of what conditions were today, how unseasonably warm it was today, and how disgusting it was. We'll actually use an observation from Mineola. So let's take a look at this, and let's take a look at this weather station at Mineola and see what the high was. What the high was in Mineola. See, it should give the temperature, and so it said hit 58.5 degrees. All right, 58.5 degrees. So here was when the temperature peaked right around noon, and then it started dropping a little bit, and now notice what's going on. See the dew points, they peaked around here, and then they slowly start dropping. Now look at it, it's starting to really fall rapidly. So that cold front is coming through, the winds are shifting, and yeah, this was the average, 58. Luckily, I don't think anywhere on Long Island hit 60, but we did get close. But again, fortunately, we're on Long Island, and we have the somewhat moderating effect of the ocean to keep us a few degrees cooler, because if we go and we look at, we will look at Central Park. Actually, I do want to look at Central Park. So let me go to the climate for that, and we'll see what Central Park hit today, because that's always one of the warmer spots. Let's see, so we'll go ahead and see what Central Park hit. So Central Park, it hit 58 degrees in Central Park today. The record was 70, so we didn't even come close to breaking that. The normal high is supposed to be 45, so we were a good 13 degrees above normal. So let's get back to this. Let's take a look at some of the hotter spots, like in New Jersey, to contrast what we have. So Toms River, let's take this one here. This one right here in Toms River. All right. You know, we'll do west of Toms River. How about that? 50, yeah, this one. Silver Ridge Park. And let's take a look at this one, see what it got up to there, as far as the heat goes there, because I'm sure it was a lot hotter there. I was positive of it. Let's see, so 62 at this weather station, so it got up to 62. Again, very, very warm. Look at these humid, dew point 60, very humid, but you can see things are falling off a cliff now. It's cooling off. Let me get another station here. Let's right in the heart of Toms River, 53. Let's see how this one did. So we'll take a look at this and see, because it was quite warm today. Very remarkable warmth, even though we didn't break any records. So 61. So low 60s, I guess, but they did break 60 in Toms River, as I expected them to do. Obviously, it was a lot warmer in Atlantic City. Maybe the sun had peaked out a little bit there, possibly. Let's see. Was there one in downtown? Doesn't look like there's an observation in downtown, unfortunately. There isn't one in downtown. We can go a little more to the west. Holiday City West. Let's see. Let's see what it hit there. Because again, it gets hot in that area. It gets hot in that area. It's even hotter in Holiday City than it is downtown, just because you're a little further away from the water. Let's see. 60.2. All right, so I guess that 66 happened further south. And actually, if you go and we look at the heat, you'll see that if we go to the further to the south, you will see that in the Delmarva, it was even hotter. Delmarva, I believe it hit. I think Ocean City got up to 70 today. Let's take a look and see what Ocean City. Actually, I'll just type it in here. Ocean City, Maryland. Let's see. Let's see what they got up to. All right, so it's 55 right now. Let's see what it hit in Ocean City. So they're reading 64, but I think that's because they're by the coast. I think inland, if we looked inland like Salisbury, it might have been even warmer. So let's see what Salisbury hit. 67. So yeah, it got close to 70 over there. Quite warm, quite warm. Let's take a look at the radar. Just again, the warmth was unusual, and if you don't like this kind of thing, I got bad news for you. We got more soakers on the way that we got to talk about. So we got some more rain redeveloping across the area here. So we're going to have some more rain tonight. And that's with that stalled frontal boundary that we have over us. So if we go and we look at the Ventus sky, I'll show it to you on the Ventus sky radar that there's a stalled frontal boundary with a wave of low pressure that's going to be riding along it. So this is the cold front, but it's starting to stall out as it approaches. And you got this, we're going to have this wave of low pressure riding along it. So the big question is, obviously, the snow. The Weather Service, they have a winter weather advisory in effect for our area tomorrow. You can see it right here, winter weather advisory. And actually, we'll click this part instead. Winter weather advisory here. So this is going to be going on. They're calling from 1 to 2 inches with locally higher amounts across Long Island, Southern Connecticut, from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. Wednesday. However, I don't know. I have my doubts that this thing is going to really. I think that they're really. The ground is very warm. We've had a lot of warmth, and just don't see it. It may snow, but it may not stick. So here's the GFS. We'll go and we'll take a closer look at it. And you will see here that this front kind of gets hung up. We got a little period of light to maybe moderate snow Wednesday morning, and then it moves on out of here by the afternoon. And right now, I mean, if we look at the total snowfall on the GFS, it gives us barely an inch. It does give Connecticut and part of the east end of Long Island closer to 3 or 4 inches. I still think that's overdone. If we look at the NAM model, let's look at the NAM model. The NAM has been reducing its snowfall amounts, and now it only gives Long Island barely an inch. It has a little more in New Jersey, maybe, where the colder air moves in first. I'm thinking this is a little too far south, but maybe you could see a few inches. That's most likely in northern New Jersey. But for Long Island and Jersey Shore and New York City, if we get an inch on a grassy surfaces, I think we're going to be lucky. That's my opinion, because of the ground temperature and because of the the model outputs that we're getting right now. It just doesn't warrant a even a winter weather advisor maybe pushing it. As far as what the weather service may be being a little too bullish, I think. Look at the ICON model as well, and like I said, barely anything. Just don't see much snow with this. I really don't, and you'll see why. So let's go back to this, and we're gonna go look at the NAM. I'll be using the NAM 12 kilometer for this. So you will see here that it just, the cold air works in very much toward the end, and it doesn't really set up any banding because it's a very flat. Even though there's a low pressure along the stall front, it's a very weak, flat, low pressure. It's not really going to cause a lot of lift in the atmosphere. So that's why I just don't see a lot of snowfall tomorrow. I really don't. Like I said, it may snow. You may see snow falling, but whether it's going to actually stick to the ground, it's still warm out. We have 12 hours to get the ground temperatures down below freezing. Will it happen? I don't know. I have my doubts. Certainly not sticking to the roads. But even the grassy areas is pushing it. Like I said, grassy areas, rooftops, an inch. I think that's all you're going to see, and then it's out of here. So I really just don't see I would not make a big deal out of this at all whatsoever. All right. So let's go back to the GFS and look at temperatures and see what's going to be happening for tomorrow. So here we go. So you can see the warmth. Obviously, it's gone. It cools off. Temperatures drop through the 30s through the day, and by the evening, temperatures are dropping below freezing, and that's when it could be slippery. If there's any moisture on the roads, that's when it's going to be slippery. And then for your Thursday, temperatures, now the GFS says it will be less cold, so it seems to be the trend lately. It's GFS comes in bullish, and the models come in bullish, and then they back off on the cold because the shot of cold air isn't as strong as they thought it would be. So GFS has our area getting up into the mid-30s on Thursday. Originally we thought it would struggle to reach freezing. Now we're going to be in the mid-30s. And then that, because there's no blocking, this cold air moves out quick. Warm air surges north. And then we have our next soaker with lots of warm air coming up for your Saturday. And then another front comes through, and we get a little brief respite Sunday, and then and maybe Monday too, with another shot of cold air before the next soaker. And this GFS really has us getting warm on Tuesday, which is a week from today. Again, possibly 60 or better with the next soaker coming in, and then another cold front for Wednesday and Thursday. And this time it looks like the cold air is going to stick around because we're going to get more blocking in the atmosphere. All right, so let's talk about these soakers. Oops, while I'm over here, let's do this while I'm over here already, because we're going to look at the upper air. I'll show you what's going on. So actually, we need to change this again. Change this region to the North American. So here's what changes. So when you look at the pattern, you'll see we have this like progressive pattern. The cold air moves in, then it moves out. We got this another Atlantic soaker or low-level jet coming in as we head into Friday night to Saturday. And then another shot of cold air for Sunday, and then that lifts out. You see what's going on. There's nothing to block it in place. But what's important to note is that we're starting to see higher than normal pressures around Greenland and in northern Canada and the Arctic, and that favors the cold air being pushed down to the lower 48. And you see that's exactly what happens as we head into Wednesday, Thursday. We start seeing that blocking and the trough developing off the east, and a much stronger trough. Whether that holds together, we have to see, because then it goes back to the lower than normal pressures in this area. We want to see higher than normal pressures to keep the cold air in place across the east and in the lower 48. So now we're going to go back to our region, back to that. But I wanted to talk about that because that's relevant to the future patterns that we're going to be having. So the next precipitation event will be another soaker. This could be quite an intense coastal low. Has it getting down to 998, taking a little more of a further off shore track, but still heavy rain. Could be another couple of inches of rain with that. And then that moves out Sunday. Maybe Monday we get some fair weather, and then the next soaker comes in for Tuesday. Another Great Lakes low, intense, goes up through the Great Lakes. Another soaker, but then we start seeing this change where we got this high building in for late Thursday, Friday, and then this next system here, and then this system here tracks further to the south, and it's a coastal, and this could be a snow event perhaps for next weekend. So I'll have to see. Maybe this will give us a white Christmas. Maybe that would be nice, right? It'd be nice to have a white Christmas. We haven't had one in a while. I would love a white Christmas. So that is what it looks like right now as far as the next soaker event. Let's go and look at. There's just so much going on. The weather, the atmosphere has been very busy lately. So we'll go shift over and look at the sky conditions and see when we clear out. Obviously, let me back this up here. So here we are, Wednesday. Clouds start clearing out a little bit, breaking up in the afternoon, but we don't really get rid of the clouds until late. And then Thursday should be clear, but I'm a little worried about these clouds rolling in again. GFS seems to maybe be a little too aggressive with this. Hopefully Thursday will be a sunny day. And then lots of clouds Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Maybe Monday will be clear over Long Island, maybe. Then we got the soaker on Tuesday. Then we clear out on Wednesday, maybe. Then another front comes through with more clouds on Thursday, and then we have that shot of cold air. And this could be some really cold air for Friday, December 20th. And then with that, the suppressed storm and a snowstorm, perhaps for Sunday. I'm not going to go any further beyond that. Let's look at the NAM as far as the sky goes and see what's going to be happening there. So here's the NAM. Clouds, and then those clouds tend to break up by later in the afternoon. And maybe we'll have a little snow on the ground. I doubt we'll have that much. Thursday should be clear skies, but again, we got to worry about some of this upper level moisture trying to work its way in because of this progressive kind of zonal pattern. The high races through and moves out quick. We'll have to see if we can get a clear sky. I hope we can. It may not happen over New Jersey, maybe more over Long Island. We'll have to see what happens with that. We'll have to see. But again, we have to get through some soakers and hopefully a much needed change in the pattern, hopefully. Let's look at windy.com and we'll take a look at what the Euro has as far as snowfall goes. So this is the site I use for the Euro. So let's go and look at snowfall. New snow. Let's see what the Euro has. So this is next 3 days. So over Nassau County, 1.2 inches, not very much. It gives Suffolk County a little more, especially the further east you go. So if we look at the east end here, maybe closer to 2.3 inches. And as far as the Jersey Shore goes, 1.2 inches. So it's really not going to be very much. It's not really going to be that much. And again, the ground's warm. A lot of it may not even stick to the ground, even grassy areas. But the temperatures will drop. as we head into tomorrow. So that's the key, that it will get colder, it will get more seasonal. So here you go, 3 p.m. You can see that clearing sky to the west. The question is, does it stay over us? So let's see, 5 a.m. Here we are, 5 a.m. Thursday, 7 a.m. Thursday, 11 a.m. See, it's rolling clouds in. So we're going to have to see what happens here. We may not have a clear day on Thursday, which would be a huge disappointment for me because it just seems like we're having trouble getting clear days. But that's the kind of pattern we're in right now. We have to wait for this pattern to change. We need a deeper trough in the east. We need a more sustained trough and a sustained cold to get that clear air. And hopefully a better pattern will emerge as we head into next week. A more wintry pattern. Certainly the pattern we're in right now is very on-wintry. It's more of a pattern you'd see in April and spring than in December. So I guess that'll wrap up this weather update. Again, links to the rainfall totals are below. So I'll have another weather update. If we get snow tomorrow, I'll have an update. If not, the next video will be probably Friday. So thank you for watching and have a good night.